Welcome to Ranger Nation Radio. I am the thunder, I'd say. You're more of the lightning, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, lightning speed.
Lightning and the thunder. Tim Wood, editor of Loop Weekly, here alongside Bill Bryant, Methuen Athletic Boosters president. Many titles.
Ranger Nation fan.
Super fan.
Yep.
And what are we wearing tonight, Bill?
Well, we're in a first stick program from Methuen Youth Lacrosse. Started it last year. This is the inaugural shirt. It's a 6-week program for kids K through 2nd grade who want to learn the game. Basically, a lot of people are afraid or don't know what's going on with lacrosse, and you invest in quite a bit of equipment. So this is just a first stick program, no equipment. It's a stick that we provide in a rubber ball. A lot of the coaches, and what was exciting last year that was unexpected was a ton of the youth players came down and helped, both girls and boys. So for the little kids that were in 1st, 2nd grade, they had these 7th, 8th graders that they were just in awe of to help. And it's, like I said, a 6-week program. It's at 12 p.m., Nicholson Stadium. Starts on April 28th. It's $80. You can go to Methuen Lax, www.methuenlax.com, and check it out right now. We almost
Nobody does the www anymore.
I know,
Bill, sorry.
I know. It's a non-for-profit Lax program. But Facebook, there's MethuenLax.com as well. And
they had a great clinic this week.
They did.
Boys and girls.
A little bit of weather issues, and some sharing of the field with the baseball team, that's how you have to roll. You got to be supportive of all the teams, but just great little clinic by Coach Sims for the boys for 2 days, and the girls coach for the girls on Monday, which is nice. It's good to see the high school coaches constantly giving back to the youth groups.
Absolutely. So, Ranger Nation Radio, I forgot to say, presented by AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. Huge thanks to Lisa Williams and the crew over at AFC Urgent Care. Also want to thank Independent Tire and Auto, Superior Dry Cleaners, Arthur Broadhurst, the law offices of Arthur Broadhurst, Frank Calisi Realty, and Davila and DeFusco Insurance. You'll hear about all of those later in the show. Huge thanks to our sponsors, though. Would not happen without you. So, we got some games in this week.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Outside of the torrential downpour on Monday, we got some games in, and we got some folks to talk to this week. You got some comments for us. We're going to have Methuen High School track coach Kevin Alliette in the studio. Phenomenal coach and bonus coverage of the Boston Marathon. Kevin ran it, finished.
I can't get the number. 326 out of that.
Amazing.
That field in that type of weather. Those conditions, unreal.
That weather, I just cannot believe anybody could run in that. I mean, the folks that you talk to that have, even the diehard veterans, said this was the worst conditions they've ever run.
I think the female runner said, the winner said, after 6 miles she was ready to pack it in and give it up, but mental toughness, and she got through it and was the first American to win in 30 some odd years, which is great.
Absolutely. So we'll have Kevin in. We'll also have the quarterback of the Rangers football team, Jordan Perdomo, now starting pitcher for the Rangers as we get into baseball season. We'll talk a little dual sports action with Jordan. What'd you see out there this week?
Obviously, I went to the boys lacrosse games. They were in a tournament in Boston Latin. Split. They beat Boston Latin pretty handily yesterday and lost a close one, 10-7 to Arlington this afternoon. Good game. Tough first half. Seemed a little disjointed, but came out in the second half. And I think Sawyer Billich had a couple of quick goals and started really moving the ball and made a game of it towards the end. And Arlington was just a little too tough at the end to catch up. But a lot of great effort from a lot of the younger kids again.
Hey, before we get into too many results, just want to say thank you to everyone that participated in the Methuen Scholarship Foundation telethon. Huge event for the high school, funding the scholarships for the class of 2018. I believe
over 30,000
plus raised. Great number, a great crowd. We were part of it. It was a lot of fun. It was. I'll tell you what. You've worked the phones before.
Yes.
That was stressful.
Yeah.
Like they come and say, "All right, what do you got?"
Right.
And then they come back to you expecting something. So like. I was just texting. Was texting like crazy. I'm like, what? You know.
I was getting texts from people that I set up to go. Like, I didn't know I was going to have to do sales, and I'm like, what did you think a telethon is? You got to get on the phone and call people. But it's definitely stressful. It's definitely tough. But having Man Orchards and Bada Bing sponsoring the pie and the pizza definitely makes the first $30 go easy because you're pretty much getting that money back.
Absolutely,
you really are. So. Great concept, and it's every year. People should just continue to give.
Great performers all night. Just a really awesome atmosphere. So, congrats to the high school, and thank you to all of you out there that participated and donated. You can still donate to the Scholarship Foundation. It doesn't end with the telethon. They're always taking donations. So. Just check out the Methuen Scholarship Foundation page on Facebook for more information there. So let's get into some winners from the past week since we last spoke. We've got girls tennis scored a 4-1 win over Central Catholic. Winners all across the board. Perry and Rowe in doubles. Kelsey Perry, Emily Rowe, the Trans sisters in doubles, Anaya Chabagu.
Yep.
Now, how did you say you shortened it?
Well, I didn't. So, Anyura is her younger brother. So, his name I would absolutely just butcher, so we'd call him Anyura. So, with the last name, that's all you, Tim. That's...
And speaking of, he got his first varsity match win in a 4-1 win for the boys team over Tewksbury. So a big win there as well.
I think both tennis teams are undefeated at this point.
They're off to huge starts. Absolutely. The girls, let's see, the girls are 2-0. 2-0, and the boys are 2-0. So, yeah, good starts there. Boys lacrosse, you mentioned the shootout. They also scored a win over, let's see here. I just lost it. Over over Georgetown.
Yep.
Billich, 7 goals.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's got some speed, and if he gets that angle, he's going to go in, and he took some pretty good shots, some good passes too. It wasn't him just kind of dodging everybody on his own. There was some good passes, and that's really that key to that team is if they can move the ball and find an open shot, they seem to do really well. When they play a team like North Andover that just has phenomenal lockdown defense, it makes it a little bit harder. But Billich definitely earned his billing that night.
Nick Matthew, couple goals. Joey Silverio, couple goals. Aiden Hollinsworth, Dan O'Connell, Connor Bryant, one goal apiece. Let's see, other wins on the board. Softball, 12-7 win over Andover. And that's a big statement game for the softball team.
Absolutely is. Yeah, Andover's always tough.
28-1 win over Lawrence. Even taking the foot off the pedal, but the Andover was kind of the first real test, and they won 12-7, a 5-run six to seal the win. Corey Rizzo, 4 RBIs, including a 3-run triple. Stephanie
Terdigno.
Yep. 3-run homer in the third. Emma McAlpine, winning RBI single. Kayla Albee, 2 for 3. And Crow, 2 for 3. So, big win there as well. We mentioned boys tennis. They got another win against Tingsboro. Cobb Ural, Chris Crowningshield, and Anyura scored big wins, straight sets winners all across the board. And Kevin Yassini and his partner Walkowitz scored a doubles win. We're going to get them all.
Yeah, we're going
to get them all. We're going to get all the names.
Some tough names.
10-3 win for softball over St. Mary's. That brought them to 3-0. McAlpine 4 RBIs. Mazzone and Tardugno. RBI
There's another one
apiece.
coming up as a freshman, too, so you're going to have to get that name down because those kids are going to be around for a while.
Absolutely. McCoy, the winning pitcher there. Rangers with a 7-run third there. Let's see here.
The softball team is going to be a team we're going to continue to talk about. Not that the other teams aren't doing well, but that's a team that just seems to graduate a ton of kids, but then the Ranger program they have seems to just produce pitchers and catchers and kids that can just hit. Those should be an exciting team throughout the spring.
So you mentioned the shootout. The boys lacrosse scored a 17-8 win over Boston Latin. Dan O'Connell, we had him in the studio last week. 12 points in the win, 7 goals, 5 assists. Billich, Silverio, Cooper Monroe, Bryant, Hadley, Matthew, all goals.
Hadley had his first goal of the season and got the what they call the bucket hat.
Yes.
The ground ball hat, which is pretty cool.
Very nice. Nate Lopez.
We're having a mountain visit.
Yes.
Jordan to the rescue.
Phenomenal. He's utility. He's everywhere.
That's the first.
He's not going to let that flag touch
mountain
the ground.
visit of the night.
No, you don't let that flag touch. Thanks, Jordan. Nate Lopez, 19 saves there. So
that was probably the best game I've seen Nate play.
Yeah.
He's just his whole game has just improved a ton, which is I'm happy for him. Hardworking kid, and it was good to see him have such good results.
Also want to send a shout out to the boys varsity 8 crew team. Scored a big win against Lowell on the 15th. The crew of Evan Barletta, Thomas Berry, Tim Roach, John Downing, Devin Cummings, Matt Bain, Alan Stearns, and Ryan Croteau, with coxswain Emily Reeves scored the first place finish for them there. Girls varsity 8 finished second in that race, and then a big win for boys track today, 79-66 over Andover in a post makeup of a postponed from earlier in the season. Saul Cespedes and Cespedes and Stanley Hansey, we've mentioned his name a lot, both coming back off of injuries. Cespedes 21.75 in the long jump, 6.4 in the high jump for the win. Isaac Frederick took the triple jump with 39.11. Sam Flint, there's a nice simple.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam. 10.47 in the 2 mile. Hansey 11.7 100 meters. Sam Cook a 4.50 1 mile for the win, and the 4x100 of Frederic Gonzalez, Kareem Coleman, and Ben, is it Cadet or Cadet? Ben Cadet, 47.59 for the 4x100 win there. So good stuff all around. And also big shout out to Luana Machado, scored a school record in the 400 hurdles in the girls' meet, and Geraldine Gomez, personal record and state qualifier, 31.5 in the shot put. So congrats to Geraldine there. So big doings all across Ranger Nation. I think like we said, so far the softball team has been 3 wins out of the gate. The questions were, was the offense going to be there?
Right, with some of the losses. Yep.
They had the pitching coming back, but the offense has just been out of their mind so far.
If you go through that roster, these are the volleyball. There's a couple of kids from the volleyball team, the basketball team. So these are competitive kids that want to win, and they just work year round. So the hard work pays off, and they continue to have success.
So let's take our first break. Let's get Jordan in here. Not make the man, the myth, wait any longer. We'll take our first break, come back with Jordan right after the break here on Ranger Nation Radio.
Turn it on, off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off
thank you for getting the JT in there, Lou. I've been playing hurt all week. I didn't know if the voice was coming back tonight, so little JT gets me in a happy mood. AFC Urgent Care, the right care right now. No appointment needed. Streamlined approach helps you be seen quickly and feel better fast. In Methuen in the Merrimack Street Medical Professionals Building, 380R Merrimack Street in North Andover as well in the Burton Grill Plaza, 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. Go to afcurgentcare.com for more details. And just another shout out to the crew there. You know, I've been fighting the cold crud, and the folks over at AFC took good care of me, got me back in the rotation, and didn't miss the full school vacation with the kids. So huge shout out to AFC.
One of our friends, Mary Joan, MJ, likes our new music.
Yes. All right, Mary Joan, good. Yes, we're working in some new music. Got to get some JT in there. One other shout out, Independent Tire and Auto. It's the next generation in service. Mary and her crew will take care of all your automotive needs. She's been in the business for over 35 years, the past 18 running her own shop. And they're not just tires, although they took care of my tires real nice. But, they do wheel alignments, tune-ups, brakes, suspensions, shocks and struts, AC maintenance, much more. 20 Old Clark Road in North Andover, just off of 495 next to the Lawrence Airport. They're there 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. Mary believes it's her privilege to serve you, to earn and keep your trust. And, that's a tough thing finding in mechanics these days. And so, Mary's been a huge supporter. I believe, were you part of the crew, Jordan, that took the signed cover over? Yeah, she still talks about you, my friend. Yes, very, very. She was just thrilled with that, and huge supporter of Ranger Nation. So, Independent Tire and Auto.
Cool.
Back on Ranger Nation Radio, Tim Wood, Bill Bryant, Mary Joan, liking the music. And now, our first guest of the evening, although I'm seeing Kevin in the on deck circle, so we got our crowd in here. Jordan Perdomo.
How you doing?
Welcome, Jordan.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Get the sweet sounds a little bit more into the mic.
Thank you for having me.
There it is. Yeah. There it is. So, how are you, my friend?
I'm pretty well, and yourself?
I'm doing quite well. Quite well. Not to be too much of the Mutual Admiration Society, although I don't know if it's mutual, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
I think I'm a big fan of what you have going on right here.
Thank you very much. You huge supporter of what we've been doing at Loop Weekly. Always made yourself available after the games for some videos. Some of them a little kookier than others, but good stuff. Just another one of the great examples of student athletes coming from Methuen High. Baseball.
We're looking. It's good. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready for the season.
How do you transition from the quarterback to the starting pitcher?
This year was probably a little bit more difficult, I would say, because I was preparing a lot last summer for football and this upcoming football season. But I think it's a pretty easy transition. I've been doing it for a while. So,
if you had to pick a favorite of the two, what would you not maybe what you might want to play in college?
My childhood I would say baseball, but as I've started playing high school football, and I probably get them with a little bit more feeling and love for football as the years have gone.
Are you as animated on the baseball diamond as you are on the football field?
I wish I could be.
Yeah, no.
Coach Blackwell kind of keeps that a little bit more in check.
He tries to keep that in check a little bit.
A little button-down approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't take the personality full out of you, though.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
So, what are you seeing with the team so far this season?
It's a big difference from last year, I would say. We're struggling a little bit pitching. We need do a better job hitting. But I think as the season goes, we should be fine as long as we stick to what we're doing. Coach Blackwell's a great coach. He knows what he's talking about. As long as we just listen, I think we should be pretty good.
How has it been just in terms of you had to get to know him real quick last year?
For sure.
And now this year you've got a full off-season regimen, a full time to really get into the program.
Last year we had a really great year. And then with having a second year with Coach Blackwell, I think we're gonna be pretty good. I don't know.
Are you guys younger this year?
We're much younger. We lost maybe like 6 seniors last year, I think.
Yeah.
So we had a couple spots to fill.
I mean, but still, you got some leadership there. You got some young bats.
Yeah, we do.
One of my favorite stories. I know he got a little hit up today, Corey Wheeler.
Yep.
Just we've talked about Corey and him fighting Crohn's disease. Made the varsity baseball team. Things are going well.
He's doing a great job this year.
Things health-wise are going well, and I know he's a fighter. There's no he's got the talent. So
it's gutty to be able to. I mean, this time last year it was, it was a rough goal. Absolutely.
So Jordan, what in terms of as you take leadership of these teams, as your person, one of the things that was so noticeable with football was just your personality permeated to everyone, and it was infectious. The work ethic, the tenacity, the never quit, and just having fun with the game. I mean, where do you learn that in terms of just being able to relax and have fun with it?
I honestly don't even try to make it even come off as that way. I just kind of just do how I think the game should be played, or however the activity that I'm a part of should be done.
What in terms of the team goals that you guys reach with football, what was most important to you in terms of all those accolades last fall with football?
Most important, honestly, was probably just being around my team every day. I actually really miss it a lot. And this past football season, I had a lot of fun. Our whole team, you could ask anybody on the team, they said they had a lot of fun with this team. I felt like this football team, and from now on, what Coach Ryan's doing with the program, he's just turning that thing right around, and they're just going to keep going up from here.
Are you able to kind of step back already, even, and just kind of soak it, really say, wow, we had something really special there.
We really did. Take away we faced the number one team in maybe arguably the number one team in the state, but we faced them twice. We gave them both good fights. Also, we had a tough playoff loss, but whatever. We're doing pretty good.
Focus on the positives.
Yeah.
That was. You guys were definitely relevant.
Oh yeah,
that season, sure. which is huge. You had some tough battles in the playoffs, but you also beat some very good teams as well.
You made Friday nights just really special, and that's saying a lot in this city where football has been so ingrained and so important to so many in the city to have the type of season you guys did. It was special.
It was a great season.
Absolutely. In terms of making the transition, I mean, do you basically take the winter off to just kind of reset yourself? Have you ever played winter sports?
Freshman year I played basketball, but other than that I kind of just shied away from basketball. I just wanted to stick with baseball and football. But I usually take the winter off, just get ready for baseball season after that.
Who's your best friend on the team?
Baseball. I wouldn't really say I have a best friend. I have a lot of really close friends on the team.
Football, kind of you go.
I would probably say David Kelly.
Yeah, that was a gimme in terms of Kelly, and you guys had some big moments together, and getting him back from injury, and I can't say enough. It was a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to broadcast, a lot of fun to cover. So
a lot of fun playing.
So having finished your final high school season for football, for the kids that are coming up, the sophomores that are going to be juniors, the juniors going to be seniors, if you could reflect back and look back at your time, what would be some advice that if I knew then what I know now, what would be some advice you would give those kids coming up that got a couple more years to play?
Get your job done in school, number one priority, 100%. Secondly, listen to Coach Ryan. Third, you just got to stay as a family. Come as close as you can during lifting. This is the time that we started last year. What made us to be this team that we were this past season. It started from December 2nd of 2016, and it just brought our team together.
Were you? Did you have to be kind of taught to listen to Coach Ryan? Or were you always?
I wouldn't say that. No, I've always pretty much had that good relationship with Coach Ryan. That actually, pretty funny story. The first time I ever walked into Methuen High School was sophomore year, summer. It was like, I don't know. It was one of the first days of football, like camp. I walk in the building, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? This place is huge. There's an ice rink right here. What's going on? I see first person I see, Coach Ryan. So, hey, how you doing? Open guy. He's just a great guy overall. I couldn't thank that Coach Ryan enough. He's done a lot for me, for sure. He's a great guy.
He does a ton year-round. People don't
for
realize.
Everybody, for anybody. The things he's done for people is really amazing. He doesn't get enough credit for what he does.
It's one of the reasons that when Tim and I met and talked about doing something like this, it's these coaches that get these stipends, which is nice, but when they put in the time that they put in, we're going to have another coach come on in a few minutes, the amount of time that they put in, and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want the thanks or anything like that. It's all about the kids, but it just makes it why there's so many teams that continuously win. But it's the other things. It's the relationships. It's the mentoring. It's the leading by example. It's all these other great things that these coaches, both on the male side and the female side, that are just really making Methuen High School athletics just a phenomenal asset to Methuen High School.
You were talking. We were talking a little bit in the hall before the show. As a pitcher, you're facing incredibly tough competition in the Merrimack Valley Conference. Central Catholic today, another example of that tough competition. But you had some big spots to face some well-known hitters that you've faced through the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us a little bit just in terms of what it's like to stare down Dom.
I mean, it's like pretty intimidating, but I mean, you can't back down. Dom Keegan.
Dom Keegan, yes.
A Methuen kid too, which makes it even probably a little bit more tough because he's from here and playing for the other school in Lawrence there.
And you scored a strikeout.
Yeah, I did. I mean, we lost the game. I mean, I can't really take too much credit. We lost. So.
Yeah. I want to, accentuate the positive,
Yeah, I understand.
So, what's your mental approach to pitching in terms of how do you set up the game ahead of time in terms of knowing the hitters, knowing your game plan?
I pretty much leave it all in Brett's hands, to be honest. I trust Brett Blackwell with if he's telling me to make this pitch, I'm going to trust him. You have to trust your catcher. Number one thing, I think.
He's a pretty impressive leader.
He's very smart. He's a very smart baseball player.
What is your favorite memory in terms of whether it's sports, whether it's just being a student at Methuen High School in the hallways? What's been your favorite memory that just always sticks out to you?
Probably the one against Andover this past season.
Yeah.
That was probably the best feeling I've ever had, yeah.
Why?
I've never played them in football, and then we finally got to beat them. So it was a really good feeling. I mean, and never mind just beating them by like
it was a decisive
40 points, maybe
win.
30 points, something like that.
Yes, there was little. I mean, and you guys just
everything was just going right.
Everything, yeah, absolutely. And you talk about that 4-quarter game and playing that complete game.
But we only played 3.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But I mean, what you played, you destroyed them.
Yeah, we did. It felt really good. And then to see Coach Ryan after the fact, smiling, just having a great time. It really meant that win. Definitely meant something for him. So
it's funny. Someone the other day asked me who does Methuen not have a competition against or a rivalry, and during the conversation it's like obviously Drake gets Thanksgiving, Andover. I think almost every single game has a significant rivalry. Obviously you're competing, but there's this Haverhill. I mean, every Haverhill game is a battle. Lacrosse, it doesn't matter what sport, basketball, football,
there's always a rivalry in the MVC.
Yep,
for sure.
Absolutely.
What is your what's your favorite thing to do off the fields of competition? What do you do for fun? Like
play Xbox.
Yeah. Okay. So yes.
Xbox.
So Fortnite.
I mean, a little bit.
I'm
kind of bad.
Yeah.
I'm a little bad at.
Okay.
Fortnite,
So like everybody I know
is
is
a sports game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who so Madden? Who you play as the Patriots?
It doesn't matter who I play with.
Oh.
I'll tell you another hobby he has though. Jordan's at a lot of the other games.
Yes.
Jordan is one of those kids that is true bleeds blue Ranger Nation. He's at hockey games, basketball games, kind of with a crew of people. Mm-hmm. Seth Pare, there's a bunch of guys.
Seth, Sam, Brett, Joey.
Yeah.
Everybody, football on the football team too. All the kids on the football team.
It's not just supporting your other athletes. I mean, you guys genuinely seem to have fun and have that pride in supporting friends and supporting the school in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys definitely led some strong fan sections. So, in terms of what's next for you, what are you thinking right now?
Next year I'm actually going to Framingham State University.
Really?
I'm going to play football and baseball there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It.
Are we breaking news here?
Yeah, that was actually the first time I announced it, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Wow. So when did you make that decision?
This past weekend.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Why Framingham State?
I just felt like it's a perfect spot for me. I felt like it's just like Methuen. The coaching staff's just like what we have going here, and they have a really good football team.
And met the coaches and everything, and then you feel like you're going to get a good path in football and in baseball?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
So just to play one sport in college is a pretty big deal, but to do two or to venture that way is going to be challenging.
Yeah, I'm going to try it out for the first year, see how I like it. I'm not going to pitch next year though. I'm just going to play the outfield.
Very exciting to hear. I'm real. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome to hear, and I'll tell you, you're getting a talent. You don't even know what you're getting yet. So
and a competitor.
Yes.
Jordan likes to compete, and just on a side note, obviously I do have a son on the football team, and he QB2 has been his nickname since you met him, and you've been quite the leader and quite the role model for me to have a 14-year-old kid come into the high school and hearing you yell his name and screaming at him, "Get over here, I want you to do this drill." You've been a huge part of his growth, and I look forward to obviously watching him next year, but keeping in touch with you. And
of course.
And Tim and I spoke over the weekend about how this show, it's getting people in. We're being contacted about wanting people, but now we're talking about kids that have left Methuen High School that are having some success, like Hannah Ferretra, that's at URI doing the rowing.
Yeah,
crew and having some serious success. So it spurred a conversation with you and I about, hey, we should start getting some of these alumni back on to talk to the high school kids about going on to college and playing sports and just continuing the that legacy of what they did in high school into college. So
it's not over yet. You still got baseball season. You still got some work to do before graduation. But I mean, what do you want to say to the fans, just and to the coaches? I mean, what do you want to say in terms of just the support and what you've gotten from them?
I'd like to say thank you, and I appreciate all the coaches that I've had for the past 3 years I've been here. Methuen's a great place. I wouldn't trade moving here for a second, because I think this is the right place for me. But thank you again for everything that they've done. The fans, you guys are great. You guys are pretty wild.
Get out and catch a baseball game this year.
Yeah, we need some more support at the baseball game. We had a good crowd today, but I mean, it's against Central. We always have a good crowd.
Oh yeah.
Central.
When's the next home game?
We're next week's, we have all away games next week, so probably the following week after that, 2 weeks or so.
All right, can you just take your hat off for once? Okay, I just got to see the hair. I mean, the hair's impressive.
The hair's wild today.
It is, but well done.
He's got hair.
Oh yeah.
So it's not thinned out and.
No, and he works it.
I am so jealous right now.
Absolutely.
Jordan, huge thanks to you for coming in right after a game today. Anything we've needed, anything I've needed personally, just in terms of quotes and anything, you and the team have been amazing, and gonna miss you, man.
Thank you. I'm gonna miss this place big time.
Huge congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck with the baseball season. Again, if you're just tuning in, we broke some news here, I guess. Jordan is headed to Framingham State to play football and baseball, so very exciting there.
Don't wait for the warm weather to catch a baseball game. Put your jacket on, put your hat and gloves on, and come out and catch Jordan at a home game not this coming week, but the following week.
We're going to get some good weather to actually feel like watching it.
I need something.
All right, Jordan, huge thank you for coming in, being part of Ranger Nation Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right, that's Jordan Perdomo of Ranger Nation, of the football team, the baseball team. We will take a quick break. Welcome in the 326th place finisher in the Boston Marathon, and the MHS track coach, Kevin Alliette, right after the break here on Ranger Nation Radio.
Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while.
You need an experienced litigator? Arthur Broadhurst has more than 27 years of practice in law, and he will fight for you. He's licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire and specializes in criminal and accident cases, mortgage loan closings, and town zoning and permitting for land use and licensing. Arthur has represented us in the State House as a former state representative. So just let him represent you. Call the offices of Arthur J. Broadhurst at 978-327-5128 or go online to merrimackvalleylaw.com. One more shout out we want to give. Let's talk a little bit about Davila and DeFusco Insurance. So it's a dream to own your own business. And Val and Susan Davila made that a reality in February 2013. They started with just 2 insurance carriers, but they now write and place insurance for Progressive, Safeco, Pilgrim, Plymouth Rock, and Mapfre, just to name a few. You need auto insurance, renters, commercial, home insurance. Davila and DeFusco prides itself on having lifelong roots in the Merrimack Valley. Put their experience to work for you. Visit them at 225 Broadway or call 978-251-7950 for a free quote. DavilaDeFusco.com online. And a huge thanks to Val and the crew at Davila and DeFusco Insurance.
Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow.
Back here on Ranger Nation Radio. Huge week for for Boston sports fans. We've got the Celtics, the Bruins in the playoffs. Red Sox are rolling, and the Boston Marathon on Monday. One of the toughest. It felt more like a Spartan course than a road race with all the weather coming at you. Kevin Alliette, welcome. Pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Now we're gonna talk Rangers track, but I mean, we can't. We got to start with that. I mean, tell us what running the marathon is like.
It's special. This is the first time I've run Boston, and everyone's asked me for the last 30 years, are you going to run the Boston Marathon? Have you ever run the Boston Marathon? And I've always said no, but I want to, and I qualified last fall and wanted to do it. So the weather wasn't going to stop me.
I mean, do you wake up Monday morning and go, oh, Mike, what did I get myself into?
Well, you're checking the forecast for the previous, until Monday's in that 15-day, and it's not looking good. So.
Yeah.
Have you ever trained in weather like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're running that way.
Yeah, we don't take days off for the weather.
With that said, though, even the most experienced runners, the folks who've run 10, 20 Boston Marathons said that was the worst conditions they've ever faced. I mean, can you speak to just what it was like just gutting through that?
It was tough, but I never thought about dropping out. But just the wind never let up. When you thought it was going to let up, it just got harder right in your face the whole way, and the water splashing you, and puddles everywhere, and it was a mess.
How important was it for the fans? I mean, that's the big thing about the Boston Marathon is just the amount of people on the sides, the amount of people cheering you on.
The best part. It was beautiful out there. I had people that were there cheering for me at mile 3. I saw one of my buddies at mile 1, mile 2. There were people, Mrs. Melanson, one of the science teachers at the high school, was at mile 13 giving out water. Got a good high five from her. A bunch of our track kids came in to watch. They were at mile 17. My wife and some of her friends were at 3, 8, and they just missed me at 17. I was up the hill, and they saw the back of me going up.
So you were running too fast then?
No, they just mismanaged their G-Maps or whatever, the Google Maps. But then I saw people, like one of the co-teachers, Mr. Taggart, was at 22, and some of the Whirlaway people were at 24, and there was just everybody yelling Whirlaway because I had the Whirlaway jersey on.
Yep.
Every 100 yards, someone yelled Whirlaway, so you didn't know who they were, but it was good.
When you first started talking, this is your first Boston Marathon,
Yep.
But you've run others?
Yeah, this is my 6th marathon. I've run Cape Cod twice, Caribou, Maine once, Bay State and Lowell, and was it one more? Manchester, New Hampshire.
Caribou, Maine.
Caribou, Maine.
I'm from Portland, and we never even got up to Caribou.
6 hours.
Dang.
But that was one of the last marathons to qualify for Boston, so we had to take the trip. My buddy Chris Hamill and I went up. We got 1st and 2nd place up there.
Wow, congrats.
Got some cash
Absolutely.
and some potatoes.
A little bonus.
They
Nice.
gave 5 pounds of potatoes for the win.
That's great.
Yeah, so it was fun.
Unexplainable, but great.
No, Maine potatoes.
No,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. Maine loves their potatoes.
Yep.
So, is it just a constant re-energizing hearing that crowd? I mean, just all the folks you just mentioned, just at the mile markers. I mean, it seems like you've always got that support there.
It gave you something to look forward to get you through each step of the race. It wasn't like 26 miles straight. It was like, I got to get from 1 to 3, and then I can throw my hat to my wife, or I got to get from 6 to 6 miles where I can take my little maple syrup packet. That's what they do now, maple, I guess. But then at 12 miles, I could do it again, and there was a water station every mile, so it was pretty nifty.
Did you have a number in mind in
For
terms of time? Yeah.
I qualified with a 2:45, and I wanted to run that, but I kind of wanted to break 2:40, but the weather was something. But running 2:45 was still, I'm happy with it. Happy with the race.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
What about the number you qualified? 326.
Yeah.
where did that finish? Because I'm a little confused. 329.
Yeah, it was one of those. I think it was 329 out of like 25,000 or something.
And then where did you finish as far as the female runners? Only three ahead
I
of
think
you?
that included all of them. I think there was 7 or 8 or something.
That's impressive.
But a lot of the elites dropped out, so you can't really count them out.
That's too bad for them dropping out.
Well,
you can. You were 320.
Hypothermia was a big thing, I guess. Some of those skinnier runners, but I got some meat on me, so I stayed warm.
This is meat.
Wow.
We can show you some meat. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant here on Ranger Nation Radio with Methuen High School track coach Kevin Alliette. Kevin, tell us, how long have you been coaching track at the high school?
About 12 years. I've been helping out with the girls track, and then when Coach Fuller retired, I took over as the boys head coach.
What made you want to get in? Competitive yourself. What made you want to get into the coaching side of it?
Coach Fuller and Coach James. They were two of my favorite. They still are two of my favorite people on the planet. They helped me through some tough times when I was a freshman, sophomore, and they saw potential in me, and I want to see potential in my kids and get them there. And I love those two. They're practically family. I was on the phone with Coach Fuller today for about an hour.
Really?
And, and Coach James has always been a good mentor to me. I owe them more than they know.
And you're definitely carrying that, because when you say your kids, when I go to the athletic banquets and you're up there, and you and your coaches come out, and you always give a shout out to the boosters, which I appreciate. And Connor Clark,
we appreciate it.
I've loved that kid since I coached him way back in elementary school. One of the nicest,
one of a kind.
He just reminds me a lot of you mentoring him and just. In that, but when you get up on stage and those players get up there, it's like a family.
Yeah,
you guys just there's hugs and there's high fives, and it just seems so natural. Mm-hmm. So what an awesome way to have a program that's year round, and you pretty much are with a lot of those kids year round. So it's hard to sustain that positive and that work ethic, but you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
What's your favorite part of coaching, other than just the camaraderie and the chemistry building that's so important? I mean, what's your favorite part as a coach?
It's hard to narrow it down, but seeing a kid like Liam King this weekend run a 5:48 mile when he's this big and he's just getting into running and he loves it and he wants to keep improving. He had a good day, and just seeing that improvement and seeing his smile after you tell him what he ran. And we get some younger kids that are running fast that are improving, and just to see that love of the sport and that they're seeing their hard work pay off. I like to see that.
We've mentioned some winning times from the boys and the girls rescheduled meet with Andover.
Yep.
Boys with the win. Girls had a number of big things happen as well in their meet. Tell us just about some of the names, some of the talent that you're seeing emerge in this track season.
Well, obviously Saul Cespedes he's killing it. He's got a little groin injury now, or hip flexor, but he still jumped 6'4" today, and long jump 21.7.5, which I think was his personal best.
Yeah.
And coming off
with
an
injury
is ridiculous. Yeah, he's just an athlete, that kid. And then Stanley Hansey is turning into a superstar. He's got the same injury as Saul, go figure, but he ran 52.4 today in the 400 to win easily, and he won the 100 as well.
Yep.
But you could put him in the 2, the 4, the 1, probably even the 800, and he would have success. For distance, Sam Cook's shining right now. He ran. He had 2 good wins today. The times weren't what he wanted, but the wins were nice. And Jake St. Ange had a great race this past Saturday at Haverhill. He almost fell in the first lap and got up and ended up finishing 3rd and getting a medal. So that was nice. Yep. And we're still looking for the throwers to step up, but they're getting good at the javelin. The javelin they're working on. Discus, we scored a point today.
I saw a video. Saul, a lefty.
Saul is one of our better javelin throwers at this point. Last year, that was his weakest event in the decathlon, and now he threw about 130 last week. So
wow.
That would have probably won him the decathlon last spring.
Wow.
But he was up there in the top 3 without that. So
in terms of just comparing track against other sports, what are the characteristics that you look for in a track athlete versus other sports?
Pretty much a positive attitude. negativity is just a killer in track as far as any event, sprinting, distance, throwing, jumping. If you're negative, you're not going to want to work, and if you're not going to want to work, you're not going to improve. So we try to squash the negativity. If you're complaining about something, then you don't see value in it, and if you don't see value in it, why would you do it?
There's a lot more mental toughness too in track to push yourself, to beat yourself. Where in some of the other sports you're competing, obviously it's all competition, but when I played high school track a long time ago, there is a little bit of sitting around, a little bit of waiting, where you have to keep yourself mentally prepared. How do you coach and mentor the high school kids to have that frame of mind?
We try to spread out the practices so they're always doing something, whether it's warming up, doing exercises with lunges or leg swings. Then we do a lot of upper body stuff and core work. So there's always something they could be doing. And then on racing day, they warm up with somebody. There's usually 2 or 3 or 5 kids in a race. So they'll warm up together, they'll stretch together, they'll race together, they'll cool down together, and then some of them try to find food. The other ones just hang out and watch the other kids race. It's a pretty, like you said, it's a family, so they all cheer each other on.
That's what always amazes me about track in general. I ran cross country and in indoor track and distance in high school, and you have to push yourself so much individually, right. and you're fighting, you're working for personal bests, and but there's so much more team and so much more family than anybody, I think, would imagine when we're talking about all these individual times.
Yeah. Anytime you have some success, it's usually contagious. So if someone's having success, the people with that in that group will have the same success, and they'll keep improving. So that's what we try to do too. But we get some pretty smart athletes on the team. Sam Cook, I think, is in the top 5 of the class, graduating this year.
Luana Machado.
Luana, she's way up there. And sorry, I didn't mean to correct you.
No, please.
And,
we need that.
And then Sarah Fragioni, I believe, is number 1 in the junior class. And I don't want to leave people out, but I don't check all their grades that religiously. But there's some smart kids.
It's amazing. When I go to pull photos for the honor roll. We're all, it's amazing. I just go to the track team. It's like, okay, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's a testament to you guys as coaches as well.
But the parents have a lot to do with it too, and part of them being so intelligent carries over to their track because they see value in the hard work, because they work hard in school, they work hard in practice, and it pays off.
So one thing that I wanted to just bring up real quick. I heard last night that the tracks are, we were thinking that the tracks would be worked on this spring. Heard last night that the indoor track is going to be worked. They're going to put a lot of the focus on the indoor track, but they're also going to do the outdoor track. They're going to do a refurbishment instead of a full rebuild. What will it be like just to be able to get out and host a home meet again?
I don't remember, to tell you the truth. It's been 5 or 6 years, I think, since we've had a home meet. So these kids have never had one, which it is what it is. When I was in high school, I don't know, where did you go to school, Tim?
South Portland, Maine.
Okay, that's right. When I was at Methuen High, the track was pavement.
Yeah.
And you couldn't wear spikes because it was
the
just
same
click, click.
for me.
Now when they redid it in 2005, I believe, it was perfect. And it was good. And then it just started getting holes, and they'd patch it, and those would peel off. But it'll be nice to host a home meet. The kids they don't even know what it's like. This season, we're at Andover, I think, 4 times. So that's going to be like their home track.
Wow.
What do you want to say just to the parents, to your team, just in terms of supporting the track program for the rest of the season, and just the support that you've gotten?
We have pretty good support right now with quite a few parents showing up, but there are a lot of kids that miss things here and there with work or scheduling, and I wish they would get a little more organized with that, and then maybe the parents jumping aboard and coming out to check out some of the stuff, because the kids they're special kids, and they're really talented, and they're doing great things. But it'd be nice to do that, and it'd be nice to get more kids out for the program. But we try not to chase too many kids, because if they don't want to be there, it's tough to make someone go run 10 miles, if they don't want to do it. So we've had that issue with
earlier in the program. I was showing off my first stick shirt for youth lacrosse. designed by my wife, Pam Bryant, who I got to give a little shout out to because does a lot of the designs. All right. Any youth programs going on? I see that through the different schools. I see the Girls on the Run program.
Yep.
But what else are you involved in as far as...
We have a middle school track team right now that just started this past week. The schedule got a little messed up with our track schedule being moved for away meets that were supposed to be home. It kind of threw that off. But we meet Tuesdays and Thursdays at the track at 4 o'clock. We have about 75 kids, so there's pretty good interest in it. Kids can still sign up if they missed it, and it's fun. They get a T-shirt. I think it's $30. They get a T-shirt, and there's 5 or 6 meets at Andover, North Andover, and North Reading.
Where would they sign up?
At practice, 4 o'clock at the track. Yep. Or they can sign up. We have a Facebook page. It's Methuen Youth Cross Country and Track and Field.
I mean, you're amazing in terms of social media. You guys are real active, posting results and just posting positive messages and just sharing the positivity.
Thanks.
Tell me just what it's like having been an athlete at the school, coming back to coach. What is Methuen pride to you?
Hard work. We're not necessarily a wealthy community. We have to work for what we get, and I've always believed that. But hard work, just gutting it out. Tomorrow's supposed to be crappy weather. We're going to still go out and run our long run tomorrow. Boys will do like 8 miles. Girls will do 6. Just getting out there and working hard for what you want. Setting a goal and going after it. I think that's what Methuen's all about. If you're a basketball player or a tennis player, you should have a goal and do what you can to get to it.
It says a lot too, and I know you're not a real me guy, but it says a lot to your athletes to be for them to see their coach set a goal like that, and in the toughest of conditions, watch him come through. I mean, some of my favorite moments, and I always love watching the marathon, but just watching Al Delano on Facebook, just constantly, there he is.
Al Delano is the best. He is
one of a kind.
That's what it means to be Methuen or a Ranger right there. He's the best. But it's the kids. They like to see me do stuff, but they make fun of me just as much. Like today when I jogged around the track 2 miles, like I had no hips. They were laughing at me like, how are you running? Why are you running? Why are you running like that? But it's just sore, but they want to see you keep getting out there and having a goal and being enthusiastic about the sport, and they enjoy it.
Sets a great example. It really does. Thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you, Tim.
Absolutely. And just beyond the track, just the work that you do during the football season. I mean, again, it's one of these things where it's like, you guys are tireless, in terms of the commitment. Kevin's up in the booth running the clock during the football games. Do you ever want to steal the mic from Jason?
No, Jay does a good job. Jay does a good job. We get along really well. I love Jason Sims. He's a great guy. Doing well with lacrosse too. You guys should have him on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, we
little snuck away to the Cape. We were talking with him as well.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do on those short breaks you get.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. He's on the wish list for sure.
Yeah, he'll be here.
But again, huge thank you for coming in. Huge congratulations personally to you with the marathon.
Oh, thanks.
And continued success this spring with the track program.
We appreciate it.
Follow them at MHS Ranger Track. Yes, did I get it?
Yeah, there's a Ranger Track and I think a Methuen Distance is the other one. But I do the Methuen Distance for cross country and track, and then Coach Caprio does the Ranger Track one too. So we go back and forth.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Again, thank you very much for coming in. That's
Thanks,
Kevin
Tim.
Alliette. One more shout out before we go. Just want to say thanks to Frank Calisi. Frank's a realtor to go to, whether you're buying or selling this spring. He's proudly served Methuen and the surrounding community for over 45 years, ready to serve you. He's a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, and for good reason. Buying or selling, he gets results for you. Frank is the Seacoast specialist. and is licensed in both Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Call him at 978-500-5310 or email Frank Calisi at Comcast.net. That's it for Ranger Nation Radio for this week. Tim Wood, Bill Bryant, well played once again, sir.
Have a great night. Thank you very much.
Back at you next week. Catch us on demand all through the week.
Ain't nobody leaving, so